A friend of mine was talking about the incredible lengths that some people will go to just to fuck, and they ain't impressed by anything anymore. In my mind, seeing people strive so hard just to fuck is like kind of like a child begging for candy. Yikes. I'll tell you something that would have been lovely if somebody would have told me when I was younger, because I had to deal with hypersexuality until I was 33, when I started going through let's put it lightly, I was going through a hardcore spiritual awakening. That's putting it lightly. Yeah, YouTube really didn't like it. They really didn't like it. Deleted 8,000 videos. Yep. I guess they could tell something different was happening. All right. I stand by their decision, though. There's a lot of that in there. I'm not sure the general population needed to see that. But it served its purpose. It helped me making those videos, and I uploaded them to break through my self-doubt and self-limiting belief as well, just in case it would help others. It did. There are people out there that still get to touch grass because they saw they were not the only ones. Nice. There were a lot of people that told me to shut up. I'm glad I didn't, because there's a number of people out there that still get to touch grass because they saw that they weren't the only one. Nice. I don't think those ones that told me to shut up would have ever given a shit about those other lives out there. They probably still don't, because they probably don't care about their own lives. So, when I was going through that hardcore spiritual awakening, people couldn't help me. I asked them, if they would just talk with me, or hell, even just sit with me on the phone, for fuck's sake. They couldn't do that either. When I would go to tell them about what I was experiencing, they would start shivering and shaking and freaking out. And I thought, oh, I have to be the adult. I have to take care of this on my own. So I started making videos, expressing, telling what I was feeling, telling what I was witnessing, experiencing. I would watch the video back because I didn't know who I was. People told me to seek help. That didn't work. I had to do it for myself. What do I need help for when I'm already helping myself? What they were saying was, we want you to get help so that we can feel better about not being authentic. Are y'all all right? Yeah, it turns out it doesn't work like that. Anyway, so I was doing everything I could think of to calm myself down. And one of the things I figured out was I could take in a deep breath and hold it until I would release it without thinking about it. And all of a sudden I could think better. Also found out that helps with hypersexuality. It sends that excess sexual energy to the crown. All of a sudden, ding, whoa, I can think better. And I don't feel like fucking the next Lovecraftian entity that comes around the corner. Nice. Too bad nobody knew about that when I was growing up. Because otherwise, I wouldn't have had to deal with hypersexuality my whole life. Cool. So yeah, there's a trick for you. Word for the wise, if you only follow what the majority of society is telling you you should be like, you might just suffer most of your life. Good job. As it would seem, The kinds of systems that raised us were not exactly built on us thriving and living a happy life. Please God, tell me I'm not the only one that noticed that. I knew about it the whole time, even in elementary school, because nobody could help me then either. Are y'all slow or something? Holy shit. Don't answer that. It's none of my business. Not my garden. Not my problem. Turns out my suffering wasn't anybody else's problem either. Cool. Don't have to deal with that anymore, because I had to figure it out for myself. Nice. Well, I'm here to help. Anyway, I'm trying to remember what I was talking about. So yeah, I forgot. It seemed like there was some segue I was getting to, but whatever. I do utilize cannabis from time to time. Turns out there's more than just one kind of weed. Yeah, did you know that? They got cannabis out there that's got low amounts of THC. There's cannabis out there that have high amounts of THC. There's some with high amounts of THC, high amounts of CBD, low amounts of CBD, low amounts of THC, high amounts of CBG, CBN, yada, 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 yada. The list goes on. And they interact with your brain in different ways because of the different terpenes that are in them. What are terpenes? Have you ever smelled an orange? They smell that way because of the terpenes in them. Yep, turns out terpenes do not only grow in cannabis. And that is why some people prefer a different strain to another. Yeah, well, I like White Widow. Yeah, well, I like, Apple Jacks. Good. To each their own. Not my garden. Not my problem. The different terpenes work together with the different cannabinoids to affect people's brains in different ways. Did you know everybody has a different brain because we all experience different things? Nice. I'm so glad somebody's paying attention. Yep, turns out we're not all just clones of each other. I remember now. So yeah, I think it's adorable, really, that so many people just be running around trying to fuck. But, I think of it the same way as getting high. So it was good for a second. Now what? I'm just going to do it again? Okay. I'd rather not spin in circles. Thank you very much. My garden is mine. Yours is yours. I don't judge you. No judge on duty. But do I think it's adorable that some people run around in circles because that's what society wanted you to do? Oh, yeah. Like, who taught you to be that way? Your teachers or your parents or their parents' parents? Or, who gets off the clone train first? I'll tell you this. Somebody has to stand up and be a good example. Because if they won't, will you? Will it be your kids that get off the stupid train first? Or will you get off the stupid train so that they don't have to ever be on it? Good. With all of that being said, do I utilize cannabis from time to time? Yes. Which ones? A myriad of them from time to time. Yes, you can just get CBD flower and do all kinds of things with it that can help you in all kinds of ways. Did you know that? Did you know CBN, cannabis flower, can help you sleep? Turns out so can cannabis flower that has high amounts of THC, although it has to run its course through your system first. Yes, in fact, there is not only one kind of cannabis. God help the ones that don't know that, because nobody else can, and they won't do it for themselves. Not my garden, not my problem. No judge on duty. You know, it even says in more than 5 verses in the Bible full of holes, don't judge. You'd almost think it said that in there for some kind of reason. Except some of the most judgmental people are, well, they call themselves Christian anyway. Let's not get into any of that. If you would like to hear more about all of that, you can watch my video titled Christian Judgment. Even though it says in more than 5 verses, don't judge. You'll love longer. For that matter, if your kids see you reaching over the fences of other people's gardens and weeding their gardens, they will think it's okay for them to do that too. Or, even worse, they might think, oh, it's okay for somebody to weed my garden for me. It's not. So yeah, I do. Lost what I was saying for a second. So yeah, do I use cannabis or the myriad of different kinds that there are for all kinds of reasons? Yes. Do I use them to get high? Not exactly. I utilize cannabis from time to time because I don't need it. I utilize it from time to time as an herbal medicine. It turns out there's a lot of cultures that consider it sacred. I wonder why. Yeah, maybe they didn't, publicize that over here in the United States because they didn't want you to know how to take care of yourself. Yeah, okay. So, do I utilize it to get high? No, because I think of it the same way as all the other children in adult bodies running around begging for candy. It's good for a minute. Now what? Well, I guess let's just do it again. It was good for a minute. Now what? Well, I guess let's just do it again. How do I utilize cannabis? I cook it into a little bit of olive oil. Little bits throughout the day. A steady stream. Why? It's called herbal medicine for a reason. Many cultures consider it sacred for a reason. Many cultures, not just one. So, the next time you want to complain about something, it might be good for your brain and for your, state of well-being. It might be good for your levels of stress. If you think, why do I believe this? Is it because everybody in society wanted me to? Because they didn't know any better either? Good job. I'm so proud of you. Keep it up.